Are you tired of waiting ages just to check a few rows in a massive CSV file on HDFS? If so, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to explore how to read only a specific number of rows using the Spark-CSV package. I totally get it. Waiting for a huge file to load just to see a few rows can be incredibly frustrating. You're not alone in this. Many users face the same issue when working with large datasets. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, "Why does my SQL context load the entire CSV file when I only want to see a few rows?" They want to know if there's a way to limit the number of rows read from the file right from the start. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this. So what's happening here? When you use the Spark-CSV package, it typically loads the entire file before you can apply any filters. This can lead to unnecessary delays, especially with large files. Let's break down how to tackle this issue. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip that can save you even more time when working with large datasets. To read only a specific number of rows from a large CSV file on HDFS, the user can utilize the limit option in Spark. This allows for a more efficient read operation. Next, the user should ensure that they are using the limit method correctly. This method will restrict the number of rows returned from the data frame. After applying the limit, the user can perform actions like counting the rows. This will now reflect only the limited number of rows specified. Finally, the user can display the limited rows to verify the output. This can be done using the show method. Fun fact. Did you know that the first CSV files were created in the 1970s? They were a simple way to store data, but now they can be a real headache with large datasets. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach shared by a user involves not inferring the schema and using the limit function. They suggest defining the schema manually and then applying the limit to read only the desired number of rows. The user notes that using infer schema can slow down the process, so if the schema is unknown, they recommend this method as an effective solution. Let's move forward and look at another answer. An alternative solution provided by a user involves reading the CSV files in a more efficient way. Instead of loading the entire CSV, they suggest reading the files as text first and then taking a limited number of lines. The user notes that inferring schema for text formats can be challenging, but this method works well for CSV and JSON formats, except for multi-line JSON. Let's take a look at an answer from another user. An alternative approach shared by another user involves loading the data as text first, then applying a limit before converting it to a CSV format. This method allows you to read only a specified number of rows from a large CSV file on HDFS. For Scala users, a similar method is available. You can limit the text data and then read it as CSV, ensuring you only process the rows you need. In Spark 3.0 or later, you can also use the from CSV function with a schema, but this may not suit all needs. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative solution provided by another user suggests using a pure SQL approach. They recommend executing a SQL query to read only a limited number of rows from the CSV file directly. They note that if the CSV file does not have a header, the columns will be automatically named C0, C1, and so on, and no schema definition is required. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative approach shared by another user involves using Java with Spark. They suggest that simply applying a limit won't reduce loading time. Instead, you should collect the desired number of rows directly from the file. Here's a pro tip. Always consider filtering your data as early as possible in your workflow. This can save you time and resources when dealing with large files. And there you have it. While Spark may not allow you to limit rows during the initial load, you now have strategies to work more efficiently. If you found this video helpful, Please subscribe for more tips and tricks on data processing.